Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you a hands-on review of this little beauty, the Godox AD100 Pro. So earlier today I had the pleasure of testing the Godox AD100 Pro out on location, as you can see from the video I've just played through. Now my first impressions when I heard about this light being announced were, I'll be honest, a little bit skeptical. I couldn't quite see where this would fit into my workflow or what particular use it would have to the working photographer. That all changed when I used this earlier today. I've got to say, first impressions, I am incredibly impressed with this little unit. First and foremost, let's talk about the size of it. Now, you've probably already seen reviews of this where they compare it to the size of a Coke can, and that's literally what size it is. It is tiny. In comparison to the Godox AD100 Pro, which is currently my main light, you can see the light difference quite substantial in how different they are. And again, in comparison to the AD200 Pro, quite a size difference between the two. Now, because this just fits in my camera bag like any other lens, it means for my shoot earlier, I didn't have to take a lighting bag with me. All it took was a light stand and a modifier as well. Now, like I said, first impressions, I am very, very impressed with this light. Despite the fact that you know it's 100 watts, you still make the same comparisons to the likes of the Godox V1 or the 862 Speedlight, thinking it's only going to pack a little bit extra power than that, when in reality you get a massive punch of light from this. Now, I asked in one of the Godox user groups yesterday in the UK what would they like me to look at in this review, and one of the questions was, will this work through a softbox or is it too small? My response is quite simple. Look at these shots we got shooting through a double diffused 95cm octabox. It can still deliver just as much as any other strobe. Now obviously, because it's not putting out the same amount of power as an AD200 or an AD300, you just have to change your settings accordingly. Now, as with any other light in the Godox range, this light does all the things you would expect it to do. It's capable of high-speed sync up to 1/8000th of a second. It's got multi-flash or stroboscopic functions. It shoots TTL, and obviously it's battery powered. Now, one of the big advantages to this, if you already bought it in the Godox range and have a V1, the battery is exactly the same as takes the V1. So already I had a spare battery for this unit when going out to shoot earlier. It's a small, compact, easy to use unit, and there's a couple of little bits that seem simple, but actually they're quite impressive. The first one for me is that when you go to turn it on, it won't allow you to fully turn it on unless you turn the dial, which prevents it getting turned on in your bag or in your pocket, which it does fit in, and not using your battery when you don't mean to. Now, another neat little function with this is the battery release. I find with the Godox AD300 that battery can be a bit hit and miss in terms of kicking it back out, but the way it works on the AD100 with the slider on the side pops that battery out every single time with no problems whatsoever, making it a nice easy change when you need to. So the power range on this goes from obviously full power to 256 power at 10 stop increments, meaning you've got full control over this when you need just a little bit of change in your light. It also has a 10 stop model lamp, very similar to the one in the Godox V1, which is a single LED at the base of the light unit. Like the rest of the Godox range, it connects very simply to the ST3, ST2 or XPRO triggers, and allows you to set up and shoot within seconds. Now, as you can see from my video earlier on, I used some of the accessories from the AKR1 kit from Godox, meaning I can utilize things like colored gels, snoots and barn doors on this tiny little unit. But it also attaches into the Godox ST2 bracket, meaning I can then attach bigger bones fit or S-fit modifiers such as my 95cm octabox, beauty dishes, strip boxes and parabolics. But also, because it is such a small versatile unit, there's nothing to stop you hand shooting this as you would out with a flash. In fact, in the first shot, if you caught it, my assistant was hand holding this in the back of the frame just to show you how easy it is to get this up and go. Now, it literally fits in my jeans pocket, meaning it's much smaller than any other light I have. And one of the key questions has been to me, well, what's the difference between this and the Godox V1? Now, the Godox V1, if you're not familiar with it, is a speed light, round head speed light from Godox. Fantastic piece of kit. The difference is, I find this is much easier to handle because it doesn't have that brake or that hinge in the body as a speed light does. And obviously you get that little bit extra power. So for me, for someone who was very skeptical about this light when it was first announced, I'm going to get some of these for my bag straight away because the power it puts out against the space it takes in my camera bag, that's a ratio I'm really impressed with. Now obviously, whenever you're shooting high speed sync, you tend to lose a little bit of power from that. I wanted to really put this through the test earlier today, so I shot this at 0.08 of a second at 1.4 with Natalie here. And it was a relatively overcast day, so I wasn't fighting against the hard sun. And to be honest, if you're looking to overpower the sun, this isn't the light for you. You're going to be looking at something like the AD400, AD600 or AD1200 to get that extra punch of power. But when you need something for when you're out and about, either shooting for yourself or shooting for clients, this little light is perfect for on the job. Now, my overall verdict on the Godox AD100 Pro, it's a massive thumbs up from me. This is something that will make it into my camera bag very, very quickly. It is something I will use on a daily basis. So it is available right now from Lenkada. You can visit the links down in the description below, where you can purchase that here in the UK or across mainland Europe. You can also find a discount code CHRISORD, which you can use on the Lenkada website, which will allow you a 10% discount on the RRP. Thanks very much for watching. If you do have any questions about the AD100 Pro or about anything else, drop me a line below and I'll be happy to help you where I can. And don't forget to subscribe to my mailing list for my new Learn to Light Academy, which launches very soon. My academy helps photographers learn how to use lighting equipment in a range of different scenarios to develop your skills and confidence when you're on set. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, a comment and subscribe to my channel for my next video coming very soon.